Hi, Tanyi. I'm going to go over your paper and give you some suggestions. So, first, your cover page looks good. Usually these are not in all caps, but that's not a big deal. And then, okay. Um, okay. I wouldn't say every prospective college student, I'd say most. I mean, there probably are some. There's some colleges that still don't have online. And so just, always hedge your bets. So say most prospective college students, maybe. I hear just real minor, face-to-face or on campus. On campus should be hyphenated, just like face-to-face, because you have these two. On campus goes together really as one word. Instead of in comparison, I'd say in contrast because it's different. Face-to-face learning is very old, online is very new. So I'd probably say in contrast to face-to-face learning. Comparison generally, I mean, obviously you can compare things that are different, but usually when we have a comparison contrast paper, comparison is used to mean ways in which these are similar. So just go ahead and use that. Okay, and then um, then here's your thesis. The beginning is this is good. These forms of learning are more often blended in their learning process during the similarities due to the similarities between them. They also have many differences. I would like something a little bit more specific than they have many differences because you can say that about almost any two things. So they differ in one, two, three ways. I say they differ in several ways, such as, or they differ in uh, technology, convenience, and cost, or whatever the three that you're going to do right there. So say they differ in, and then say what the ways are. Okay, that would be a stronger thesis because the end of it will be as beginning as detailed as the beginning, as specific as the beginning there. Okay. Um, Okay, this is fine. I like the idea of a beginning. I would suggest get more kind of specific about that, um, about where you say they're blended. Face to face can no longer. So explain use enhanced classroom learning. We all know what. I mean, you and I are because we're in the university. We know that even face to face classes have email, use video. Students do their homework online, such and such. So just get maybe a little more specific about what digital technology is used for, even in online I mean, even in face-to-face courses. So, okay. This should be over the learners, probably. And if you want that to be plural, more than one learner, then the apostrophe goes after the S. Ask me about that if you want. I can send you something, just remind me. Um, Okay, right here, I didn't understand that. Maybe I do understand it because I know educational theory, but I think that calls for some explanation. This makes it more teacher-centered, hence ideal for higher order achievements in disadvantaged students. Give us then add something, for example, um, uh, students can there can be a mix of different media depending on, that, for example, for disadvantaged or disabled students, that obviously online is a really good situation for students who have hearing or vision issues. And so here, do a for example here. And I don't know what you want to make that, but in which case is that teacher-centered teaching good for disadvantaged students? Give us an example, okay? and that's it's a really good point, and I know what you mean because I often think that online courses um, are especially effective for certain students, certain types of students who might get really lost in a face-to-face kind of situation. Obviously, disabled and shut-in students who are too sick to go to campus, um, and or students who can't afford daycare while they're taking classes. I had uh, a student once who had given birth like 2 months before to triplets. I thought, well, now obviously this would be a lost semester if she had to go to only face-to-face classes because she wasn't gonna be able to leave three babies that early. So anyway, but just for example, there, just one example would be enough kind of to illustrate that. And then here, try making a longer sentences. These topic sentences are really important because they state your point. Don't just hint at the point. Say. Secondly, the learning conditions differ depending on the classroom environment, face-to-face or online. Okay, give us more there. The learning conditions differ depending on what, or differ in what way, or what learning conditions. Okay, now I know what you mean, but I am only your professor. I'm not really your target audience. I just happen to know a lot about both because I've been teaching for 20 years. So, but don't assume that all your readers are going to understand exactly what you mean. So these topic sentences, I think if you can get a little bit more specific about what you mean. So learning conditions differ depending on what or in what way. Okay. Um, that's the other thing. I do think that you really need to um, make sure that you deal with both online and face to face for each of these items. Here, you're not really dealing um, as much with both of these. I would say go a little longer. I want some examples and a little bit more explanation. You're doing a good job. It's really well organized. I just think take it one more step up and give a little bit more in the way of examples or explanation. Okay. So my son, I was just looking at this about uh, reader learner's attention. My son has gone back to college, and I said, why don't you take an online course or two? And he said, oh no, he can't pay attention in online courses, that he needs the professor there. And I thought that was kind of interesting because, his mother teaches online, and I'm thinking, well, I'm sure my students are always paying attention to me, ha ha. But he's one of those who needs someone there to capture his attention, as you call it. So okay. So um, I think this is good. Everything's good. I would just say what I'd say is be more specific in these big structural sentences, the thesis and the topic sentences at the start of each uh, each paragraph. I think it's a really important thing to point out that there really are majors where at least some learning must be handled face to face. You can't have a nursing clinical internship or something like that, or a lot of stuff without people actually being there. So that's a good point. There are also, of course, classes that are probably much better suited for online. Um, I was thinking like a film class. I once taught where I had to use a film, and you can't even watch a single film during the hour and 15 minutes that we had allotted for a class, and that made it extremely difficult. Where if I could just tell them, okay, watch this film this evening on the classroom, that would be much easier. So each of them has courses where they are more suited for, and that's a really good thing for students to understand. So okay. Um, and I like the way you end up with the best thing, where flexibility is important, but also understanding how the two could be used together. That could actually be a good paper topic in the future, just a thought. And how mixed media or hybrid courses might be a thing of the future. So just a thought. Okay, now let's go real quick with APA. This is now I said don't worry too much about APA because we'll talk about it um, uh, tomorrow, and I'll do a tape about it tomorrow. But nonetheless, remember this is an APA. This is your references are in APA, so this is called references. Actually, that's not all caps. I don't know why I did that. There are no bullets. Okay. And let's see. Is this alphabetized? So no bullets. About that. Should be. I think you had it hanging dead, and I just messed that up. Okay, so you want to make it no bullets. You want to do it alphabetical order. And I think you just had that one out of place. So no bullets are um, alphabetical order. If this is a book title, it's italicized. Remember, you have a sentence format, so you'll only capitalize would be capitalized in a sentence for article titles and book titles. And most everything else looks fine. Just remember, so no bullets. I have to stop in just a minute because the tape's running out, but the tape. um, the app is running out, I guess it is. And so that's the most important stuff. But and then this, you don't have number there. It's just one. You just have the number. Except I think that goes in parentheses. The number goes in parentheses there. Um, so it looks good. There might be a couple other minor things that you want to look for, but the most important thing is called references. There are no bullet points, and it's alphabetized by the first word, and it is all hang indented. Hang indent for you there. So that bullet point. And then this should be hanging. Why isn't that hanging indented? Huh. That's why. Okay, so anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. It's a good paper. You've done a good job. Just pay attention to those, especially the thesis, because the thesis isn't as good as the rest of the paper, and it really ought to be kind of the best sentence in the paper. So just look for specificity, examples when you can to illustrate your points, and but otherwise, good work. And I'm looking forward to your research paper because you're doing this already. So good work.